Welcome back. This is the T.A.P. I'm your host, Andrew. Hey, so forgive me. Hey, listen. So we have an interesting episode today. There was a old post which was made on the Breakfast Club from the Honorable Louis Farrakhan. He made a post talking about that a man isn't complete. Oh, you got it? Good? All right. Make sure Carl Winslow good. Wanted to make sure
Carlton
wanted to make sure that forgive me. Wanted to make sure that with regards to listening to the video, that is a man complete before he gets a woman. So hey, listen, without further ado, I'm going to bring up the video. I want you guys to hear it. Without further ado, here we go.
No man is a man without a woman. It's a woman that helps the man to be a man. A man that don't have a woman don't know if he's one. What do I mean by that? A woman will test you to see if you are what you say you are. Any woman that you fall in love with, she love you too, but she gonna try you. That's her nature. She gotta know that she can depend on you. She gotta know that you'll stand up for her. She got to know that you'll back up the children that she brings in the world for us.
Coach D, before we get started, we do have a special guest who will be calling in shortly. Sister Angelica. She is the owner and operator of the Healing with Angelica podcast and YouTube channel. So she will be working with us today. So if you're not subscribed to us or her, make sure you subscribe, hit the like button. So she will be joining us shortly. But Coach D, man, I want you to start it off, man. What do you think about it? Is a man not complete until he get with a woman?
I believe what the good minister is stating is accurate because I feel like he is stating it from a place of the original way. Man was not put here on earth to be alone, which is why he gave us a woman, from our rib, which is our helpmeet. So I just think based off his word and what he's prescribing, that it was he's speaking from a place of this is how it is supposed to be.
I kind of agree on that perspective, but I'll give it from another perspective. Iron sharpens iron, right? As you said, the man needs a wife to contribute, to help complete. But we as humans, we all have different definitions of being complete, and a woman is to add to your life. And that's one of the biggest things.
I mean to interrupt you, Lodru. And YouTube world, this is my son talking. So we have my son, he's 19, so he's going to give his insight. So I'm excited about that, regardless of how I sound. I just want you to hear the wisdom that I've been training my young son in. We may disagree on a few aspects, but we have Sister Angelica on. So Angelica, thank you for joining us. Lodru, go ahead and continue.
Yeah, I was just talking about iron sharpens iron. Like even as a male, as you get with a woman, you want to be better, but it should be the same as by yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like even being in a relationship, but even as a man, you should want to grow by yourself. Like that's another aspect that I give on that one too. I want to hear yours.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think he has a point. And when you're talking about from like perspective, I think we're all entitled to have our outlooks on things. More so to say that when you look like out into like nature, right? You know what I'm saying? Where I would say, that's where the most spiritual things are happening. You know what I mean? Untapped. So, and it's like you see male and female. Mm-hmm. You also see them coming together and reproducing on multiple cases across the spectrum. So, and then you look at the makeup of like how we are as human beings and what it takes in order for us to reproduce. Mm-hmm. And then you look at the outcomes of the children that come from single parent homes and that come from both parents in the house. And you can see that the numbers show it's more beneficial. You know, if you don't believe the spiritual aspect, you can look at it from multiple situations. But to your point, to say that do you need her to complete? I don't know if you need her to be complete, but you need her to add on. When it's time to build something bigger than yourself, you're gonna need help with. You know what I'm saying? And who better to help you than the person you're laying next to? You know what I'm saying, on a regular basis.
So I'm going to shoot to Sister Angelica. Go ahead, Angelica. You are muted, so you'll make sure you unmute yourself.
Yeah, so I know I've just kind of hopped on here. Was there a particular question that was asked, or?
Yeah, so we played the video from the Honorable Louis Farrakhan, where he talked about how that a man is not complete until he basically gets with a woman. That's when he's challenged, and that's when he goes through his basically that's what brings him to the fruition of being a man, is when he goes through that. So just with the title of the video, is a man complete? Is a man not complete until he gets with a woman? That's pretty much the question that we're challenging, and I just want to know your take on it.
Well, yeah. No, the man is not complete without the woman. The woman within itself, the woman within herself brings a certain aspect to the table just as well as the man. So when it comes to us actually going back and looking into time and looking into how great men had women on their side when it came to their growth and their development and their power, there was always a woman on that side to complete the man with whatever duty or project that he had. I believe that because unfortunately we just don't have the knowledge, I would say, of an actual relationship. We really don't know what a relationship is. I think because we just been bombarded with just the perspective of what we believe relationships are. We have been operating in that perspective of what a relationship looks like. But what is a relationship? When we think about the woman, the woman has a particular duty that God has given to her to do, just as well as the man has a particular duty that God has given him to do. We all have a particular duty that is in our innate nature to do.
Mm-hmm.
However, when it's come to completing that duty, the duty cannot be fulfilled without the help of the woman. The woman is the help meet, MEET. It makes me think about when the minister said, the woman is not help meet, not MEAT, because we look at the woman as meat. You know, we don't value the woman no more, so we don't look in the aspect of what we can get from the woman. At the end of the day, when you go back and think about it, it's kind of like, you know, we are all using each other in some type of way, shape, or form. If we take our lower desires out of it and stop thinking on a carnal level, and think about the higher aspects of what you get out of having a development with a woman, you get a family, you get a nation. We're seeing our generation fall because they didn't have the proper upbringing as far as mother and father in the home. So seeing the importance of why the woman and the man, I mean, they're both important, but the woman in general, because she brings a nation. She brings in the babies. You know, she cultivates the nation, you know? So it just really just go back to us actually taking a deeper look inside how God created us in whole.
Mm-hmm.
Why did God create the woman and why did God create man? We all have an innate duty. And in that
So
duty, hey, we can't come together and we supposed to produce, you know? So yeah.
right, and I think that's a natural law of order as far as with us to produce and want to make children. But the reason I disagree with it is because if we think of Paul in the Bible, right? Saul, then Paul. Paul was a celibate, and he fulfilled the duties which he was quested to do from God. And I think about, as I'm raising my son, I don't raise him and say, hey, you're not complete until you go get with a woman. Because I feel like that's, let's think of a son, right? Let's think of a child. If you're raising him up as a man, I teach him how to carry himself, how to operate himself. Of course, he would see how I treat his mother or the woman I'm with to understand how to value a woman in life, and when I think of a helpmeet, I think of it as an add-on, not as as I need this to complete this. I think of it as an added bonus, right? Like, I'm going to reach this goal regardless if you're in my life or not. I'm going to reach this goal. And I'm not devaluing women. I think having a powerful woman by your side will help you reach goals faster than you can ever imagine. And God did desire, as Coach D said, for men not to be alone. But I think that when you're raising men, I think that you have to be careful with the verbiage, because I don't want to tell a young man, hey, you're not complete until you get with a woman in your life. I think that when the Honorable Louis Farrakhan said that a woman will test you, I do agree with that. But I think that's one of many tests. You get tested from many things in your life, like when it comes to like finances, when it comes to work, when it comes to physical fitness. There's so many things in life that would test you as a man, that will show your development and character as a man. I think saying that you're not complete until you be with a woman is just, when I think about Paul, who, done a lot for the church. And again, we could disagree with religion, and I'm not here to debate that, but I'm stating he did do a lot, and he was celibate. So I say that when I think of a woman, I think that Jabez and I had a conversation offline earlier. You remember this, Jabez, when you were talking about that some people may be cool to be single and some people may be in a relationship. Like, it just depends. And I just think that it's all encompassing. I think that when you just blanket and tell a man that he's not complete until he gets with a woman, I think for some men that may be the case. For me, I understand the value of having a good wife and a good woman. And I understand that if she's not operating in that space, hey, you can't be in that position because you're supposed to be a helpmeet, But when you are a helpmeet, I understand the value and I don't want to lose you as that. Coach G, what you think, man?
I just think the word complete, I want to kind of redefine that. Because I feel like when you think complete, it's almost like we're saying a man needs an additional extension to be inserted, and now I am a man.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
When you are still man first, I just think that word complete comes with a total different connotation, and I think that it unlocks a way bigger a bigger road ahead.
Okay, I get what you're saying. So
I think that complete is like, okay, the end goal is, if it's marriage, okay, well, I need a wife to be married to be complete.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And see, the beautiful. Oh, sorry.
Wait, no. Do you think?
And the beautiful thing about perspective is that nobody's wrong in their level of consciousness, and that's what I love about religion as a whole. Though it comes with negative notation, it gives an insight of how people view the world, because that's all. It's just a viewpoint. And the moment that I can come over to your side and see it the way that you see it, I can say, okay, I see how you derived it. Now, whether I agree or not is my level of understanding and consciousness. And if I'm operating from a place of consciousness, then there are levels, as you said. Like, once I get here, now I'm striving to go here. And once I get here, so the word complete is a very subjective thing in that when you're looking at it from that scope, right? Because you never quite complete it until you're gone. You know what I'm saying? Then you can overlook the whole thing and say, okay, well, because what I know is every 5 years we got a new set of cells inside of us. I mean, we're a totally different person than we were. So our outlook on life and how we're perceiving things may have changed. And now what my goals were then may not be my goals now. If I reach some, I may be setting new ones. So defining completion. Now creating, and also it depends on what your purpose is too, and where you headed to. Because if your goals and your aspirations sit outside of like something that you can hold, again, like helpmate is necessary. But maybe you don't want much. So maybe your level of completion is a car and a house and a nice job, and you know what I'm saying, that's cool for you. But if you looking to, you know what I'm saying, start a family business and you looking to do things that's very big, sometimes it's better to have somebody next to you that they bounce those ideas off of to make it even greater than what you could do by yourself if you see it as. So that's what I said. It's about perception for me. Nobody's wrong in that.
So I want to say there's no real definitive answer to this question. See, but it goes down into a good woman. A good woman will complete your life, will help contribute to your life. See, but as men, we are going to the more spiritual, religious aspect onto it, that we are so blinded by lust that we forget what a wife is, and that a woman is supposed to, it goes back into a good woman will help complete a man. And it's not complete, will not complete a man, but will help complete a man. Mm-hmm. But if you are blinded by lust and what, like even it says in the Bible, a good wife is more precious than any diamond or any gold. A good wife, exactly. So once you find a good wife, she will add on to your life. Mm-hmm. And like I said, we go back to the blinded by lust and what can she provide to you? And we are so conditioned to be by ourselves in the world, which is where they're like, I don't need no man, I don't need this. But God made it to where she was taken out of our rib to help us. They are supposed to be, we're supposed to help them as well. It's not supposed to be they only solely help us. We contribute to each other as a yin and a yang. But, and go back to that one, is what we define as being complete in life. I think we always, as human beings, feel the need to be complete, when really you will find completion within yourself. You will find in contentment. That is where being content, because we always seek after the next big thing. I want the big car. I want the nice jewels. I want this and that. But you define what completion is, and what you define where success is as a human being. And that can be either through God, which is a religious aspect, or that can be even within yourself. But a good wife and a good woman will add to your life. But a bad wife will also add, but it'll teach. It'll teach.
And Sister Angelica, I want to hear from you.
Well, I believe that we all have different perspectives of complete. I believe what the minister was saying, and me being in the nation, when he means complete, he means that in faith, marriage is one half of our faith. And it's within the woman being the gateway to God, because of her being the second self of God. So I believe that it all depends on how you're looking at it. Our perspectives can be different. Now, this doesn't mean, I don't believe this means like, okay, you want to be a successful CEO, you want to have a business, you can do that by yourself. However, it's always beneficial to have that woman on your side, because she has things that she is innate in her, that she can help bring a light to whatever vision that you have as a man. Like when it comes to women, I know y'all heard this before, we have this intuition where we know things. And because we know things, it really opens up the fact of how connected we are spiritually to God. Because of our connection, of us knowing, we're able to help the man in whatever vision and goal that he has. So if we're taking the materialistic out of it, and I think that's the problem, we have became more materialistic when it comes to relationships and what it brings. If it's not bringing me money, or if it's not bringing me success in this aspect, then we don't really see how a woman can make us complete. But if we're really looking at it in a sense of morals and values, and how the family is what builds a nation, and we have been destructed by these people of this world as far as the Black family, you will see why the woman is a asset and a benefit in our completion, because it's bigger than ourselves. Me saying that I don't need a man is being selfish to myself and my future generation, just as well as a man. So I think it all coincide with the fact of how we all have different perspectives of it. But I think what the minister was just saying is that, the woman is the second self of God, and marriage is one half of our faith. So depending on your religion, your God, then if you want to come in completeness with God, then the woman is the gateway to completeness with God.
Do you mind if I add something to that really quickly? It goes back into a
I'm about
good
to ask.
woman.
Hold on, Steve. Hold on. Lil Drew was saying something real quick.
I'm not going to say a good or bad woman, but let's just put it into that. A woman that's not there for you will distract you. You're understanding? Like, obviously, in a relationship, we always think of what can I take from this relationship more than what can I give to this relationship. And that's where we that's how we contribute to each other in a relationship. Like, the man is supposed to lead and the woman is to follow. It's just, once we, like in a marriage, you are to put your wife before your children, so that you are to grow together, all four of you, or however how big the family is. So, exactly.
Hey, Steve. Hold on. Hey,
what
Steve.
up?
Hold on. Mute your phone till you be ready, bro.
I want to chime in, on this particular.
Go ahead, Coach D. Like they on a date.
Just with the term, complete, and Sister Angelica, she really, shed some light on it, and you too, Lil Drew. I want to break it down to a more practical level.
Mm-hmm.
If you want a promotion, there's steps you take to get to that
I know.
next level.
Mm-hmm.
If there's if there's certification, there's steps you have to take to complete a course. In order for a course to be complete,
See right here, this is what it looks like.
These things in order for your status to be complete. So I really feel like, just from the topic of the word religion, word God, it is solely, I think, it's no veering from it. This is one way, and that's what I believe Mr. Farrakhan, as he is just talking, he's spitting the truth. He's spitting that one way truth. It's just one way.
Mm-hmm.
Now whether I'm non-denomination, Sister Angelica, in the nation, but we can agree on it's one way. In order for us to be complete as just as man, and in an infrastructure of family and an infrastructure of marriage, part of that is these items being taken care of first in order for me to be complete. So I just think with that, if we just break it down to a real practical, fundamental level, it's some things that have to occur first in order to be at a state of completion.
Steve, we got our other two hosts. They on vacation, Sister Angelica, so they in Miami right now. They like they on the same room, huh?
Hey man, come on with all that, my guy. What's going on, man?
All right. I'm not sure if you caught up. So right now, we kind of got a mixed bag going on with the dialogue, but pretty much, the discussion is a man complete? Is a man not complete until he gets a woman, basically? And we're going based off the content shared by the Honorable Louis Farrakhan. It's a mixed bag, kind of just drop what you guys think and give your input.
All right, hold on. I'm gonna make mine a little quick because we got girls to attend to out here, little fan base. But anyway, Is a man complete without a woman? I think though it just depends because you can be a complete man without a woman if you're on your purpose, if you're doing what you're supposed to do, if you're about your business, you keeping your word and you value to your friends and family, you add value to them. I think yeah, you a man. How are you not a man? If I'm handling my business, I keep my word. I'm a good friend. I'm a good brother. I'm a good uncle. You know what I mean? And I'm about my business. I'm a man. If I'm giving back to the
So that
youth,
makes
if
you
I'm a positive male
responsible.
influence, I'm a man, right? At the
That
end of the
makes you
day, I think a
responsible.
different kind of man brings something different, like a family man. That just brings different responsibilities. Like if you have a wife and kids, you're a different type of man. You're a family man. You know what I mean? You have a
Right.
bigger family. That's what it is.
Right.
Just different levels to it. So I'm gonna swing it
And,
to him, man.
I
go
mean,
ahead,
hey,
Will.
look. I mean, he said it. He pretty much said it all. But I would say no. You don't need a woman to be complete as a man because a lot of these women want you to come to the table already complete. You know what I mean? Because they they want you to already have your shit together. You know, a lot of women don't want to invest when you are at your lowest or when you are down. A lot of women won't build you up. You know, they won't help you with that journey. So they already want you to have your finances together, your education together, your kids together, everything together when you come into the table. So I feel like being completed as a man is a mission we all are on. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Before you even approach women, that's just kind of what society kind of is put on us. So I mean, yeah. So to keep it short and sweet, women kind of already want you complete when you come into the table, man.
I think that question goes for both male and female. You would want a woman to be complete, and you would want a man to be complete before they go into a
Right, but
relationship.
that's not the.
I mean, it's just the way the question is asked is, do you need a woman to be complete? You don't need anybody to be complete. That's the simplistic answer to
Right.
that.
Right.
But
Right.
if both, let's say I come to the relationship broken, and I come to it in I'm saying I'm broke. Let's say I don't have no money. I don't have no education or anything. Obviously, no woman will want me. But the woman, a man,
That's not true.
a man's integrity is tested when he has everything. A woman's integrity is tested when she's with a man that has nothing. So what you bring to the relationship and you collectively
Say that again.
together.
Hold up. Say that again.
A man's integrity is tested when he has everything. A woman's integrity is tested when she's with a man that has nothing. So when you collectively bring together and you grow together, that is the point of a relationship. Broken or not, you are meant to come together and grow. And then you grow into something great. You both are the glue to fix the pieces. See,
I like that.
Hey, can I interject? Can I interject?
Go ahead. Go ahead, Will.
Hey, man, listen, objection. I'm gonna say, no, I like that. I like what he said. But it's really more so on the man to be more complete than the woman though, because like we would accept a woman easily.
Mm-hmm.
Like if she completes all our other boxes, she's submissive, she's what I mean, she cooks clean, and she works at McDonald's, and I'm a 6-figure guy. We would accept her, but the women
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't do that in return
Because we are leaders.
because
Right.
because if I'm at McDonald's and I'm trying, but I have all the other attributes, you know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? That was my point. Most of the time, she's not going to, settle for that. She's not gonna like build you up from McDonald's up to the corporate 6-figure, all that stuff. So I mean, I understand, but that's what I meant when I said complete. That's what I meant. She wants a man that already got his stuff together.
that
Hey,
goes
hold on. Let
back
me. Hey,
into
who on the panel today? Is that
I got
Romero?
I got Romero, Sister Angelica.
What up, bro?
I got my son too.
What's going on, brother Will?
Yeah, man. Hey, your son.
Hold
I
on,
like what he said about that.
hold on.
I like what your son said, but
And
to the
hold on, I just want to
Angelica,
say
why
this.
is it when I got on the podcast, I ain't see her smiling till I got on. She wasn't smiling till I got on. See, look, when I got on, she started smiling from ear to ear. Look, off the camera and
Wow.
everything.
She was
Nah, I'm
smiling
messing
for us,
with you.
nigga. Stop it. Go ahead.
Hey,
I ain't see that, though.
hey, check this out. Check this out. A man is an adult
What's
man.
up, Derek? Coach
Hey,
D.
what's up, baby? She no good. Hey,
What's
hope y'all
happening,
down
man?
there. Hope y'all down there living your best lives, man.
Hell yeah, man. You
My
want to see the
man.
views, bro?
No, we saw you, Coach.
I done been there. I
Hey,
live down there. I know what it's like.
check the views out. Look.
Look,
Woo!
they're in the same room. Diddy.
Okay.
Hey, man, watch out, man.
Hey,
All right, hold on.
We down here
Go
looking
ahead.
for submissive women.
Go ahead, Coach
Hey,
D.
check this out. A man is an adult male human being as opposed to a woman. The term man can also refer to a man or boy who exhibits the qualities that men are, and this word is important, traditionally thought to have. That word traditionally. So, but
So, and what are those thoughts that we should have?
so that's where we go. That's where we fast forward now,
Right.
because now we get away from the fundamentals
Mm-hmm.
of what a man was.
Yes, sir.
You see what I'm saying? So now when we say complete, it's all the superficial bullshit about you gotta have this, you gotta have money, you gotta have that.
Right.
That wasn't a traditional.
Yeah, man. And that's what I said. It's
Exactly.
really important where you pulling your resources from and where your perspective is coming from. Because, like, if as to Steve's point, if you're a family man, your views on what a man is different. If you're a spiritual man, it's gonna be different.
So
So
where does it come from? Because it's a tradition.
traditional,
So that means we gotta go back to the foundation.
the foundation, in order to identify what a man it truly is.
There you
Then
go.
you can look at yourself
And build up and say, am I meeting this mark?
blessings.
Yes, sir. I love what you're saying, man.
A man. Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
I think everybody's making great points about like where it's coming from, including the Honorable Louis Farrakhan, because it's almost natural to look and see how we all come into this world. You know what I'm saying? To say that it took a man and a woman to bring us into this world, and then it's like and look at our own situation. Was we better off having a father and a mother in the house, or was we better off with it not? Now to say that every person is the same, everybody on this panel is gonna have a different idea of what that is, right? And that's why I'm like, you know. And then I look out in nature, right? This is God's first language, so you can't really argue with nature because nature is only doing what the Most High said it told it to do. You know, it's not contradicting itself. It's just doing the thing. So, but when I look out into nature, I see multiple things happening. I see it playing out from multiple perspectives. Seahorses. The mother get pregnant and drop the baby off and put it on the back of the daddy, and the daddy take care of the babies. So you know what I'm saying? Like, so to say that these things don't play out in other spectrums, I think it's a slap in the face to the Most High Creator to say that, you know what I'm saying, we can only live one way. And that's why I respect all religions, because all religions provide a perspective in which people connect to a higher source. That's your level of connection. It's not right or wrong. That's just that's how you got there. And if it's making you righteous and it's making you an outstanding person, as Steve was saying, if I'm an outstanding brother, then I'm doing all of these things, then that's my way of contributing back.
But I will say that I like what Steve said when it comes to being family man, but I think what they was too concentrated on was like how much money you make, I just think that.
But if that's what they value, then that's their level.
That's
But when I, okay.
that's where it goes back into.
Hold up, but
That's
but
where it
look-
goes back into.
hold up.
Defines a
hold on,
man.
hold on. Let me talk. I just want to make a point. I think that, and I agree with Sister Angelica about this when it comes to like what the Honorable Louis Farrakhan was stating, and this is just for me being a family man. I've always longed for having a wife, for having a family, for doing those things, and I think that it truly did test me in learning. And I know I wouldn't be the man I am today if it wasn't for the woman that I have in my life, even good or bad, regardless she met the standard at the moment or met it at a later point. I know that it definitely taught me to grow. But I will say that I do understand that definition doesn't apply to every man. And I think that as I raise my sons, I don't teach them to say, hey, you're not complete until you go get a woman. I teach them and say, hey, as a young man, this is how you value things. Regardless, I believe that people can see, YouTube can see that my son does embody some type of wisdom. Regardless if we may agree or disagree on some things, I think that if a young woman was out there single, was like, man, I'll get with that young brother. Come be with me. You know, no kids. You look good. Come be with me. So that's what I put out in this world. And I got 3 other sons behind them. But the point I'm making is that as I raise my sons, as now, like with my oldest, I tell them, hey, stand on your grind and purpose. understand what you want to do. And I agree with Will when he said that a man has to be complete. And I remember, since Angelica, you made a post, and I kind of talked about it, where you talked about that a woman shouldn't lay down with a man before marriage. And I said that a lot of times people lay down with people that they shouldn't be laying down with, that they shouldn't take their time with, that they shouldn't be dealing with, they shouldn't even be, because these people are not on their level. And it's not about being married, because you could get married to a sucker too. Just because somebody say I do don't mean they truly for you. But I think that if you know, as in the military, we used to always say, like, if you wanted to get promoted to sergeant, staff sergeant, sergeant first class, you had to be operating in that position before you got to it. I didn't give my wife the position because she became a wife when we got married. She was showing those behaviors beforehand, as I was showing those husband behaviors beforehand. And so it was natural for her to want to give herself to me. We didn't have to wait to marriage. It was like, this is going to be my husband, because I communicate with her. I want to marry you. I want to do all this, and of course, nothing is perfect, but I'm just stating that so many people give themselves to suckers, sucker men and sucker women. And I think that those are the situations where that you're really not complete, because it's incomplete people trying to complete themselves with other people, right? You get what, and I'll let you continue with this, Sister Angelica. I think it's incomplete people who need to work on themselves, who go out and try to fill in them holes with other people. What do you think about that?
There we go.
Can I say something?
Hey, real quick, I want to just really big Drew up real quick. Sister Angelica, hey, you got the floor, I promise. I want to big Drew up, because when I say this is some of the realest talk we done had on this podcast, when I say that this is some of this is grown man talk.
Mm-hmm.
This ain't capping. This ain't no superficial BS. This is straight man talk. And when I say man talk, I just mean, Sister Angelica, that this ain't none of that. This ain't none of that la land conversation.
Mm-hmm.
What Drew just said is real talk, because what I like that you do, what you just did was you went back to the beginning. You shouldn't even be laying down with them anyway.
Exactly.
You shouldn't even be in the same room, because once you elevated, why are you coming home to the same room you grew up in? You got the house now. Why are you going back to that room? You don't belong there no more. You did not brew it. And that, what Drew's saying, man, like, I've been waiting for I don't know, a Saturday to have some real talk, because I'll be frustrated, man. Like, man,
we had to get Sister Angelica on. Go ahead, Sister Angelica. Go ahead.
Oh.
Wow. This is a beautiful conversation. I love to hear everyone's perspective of what they believe, the minister was saying in that video. I wanted to go back with what the brother has said. I think his name was Willie, just about how he believes that women wants a man already complete. Now, this is what I'm going to say. Unfortunately, the women of today are asking for too much when they can't even come to the forefront with what they want. So, unfortunately, the women, we got a lot of work to do, unfortunately. And because the man is seeing the women today asking for so much, and they don't bring much to the table. Unfortunately, our women nowadays, they barely know how to cook. They barely know how to do things that our grandmothers knew how to do. So yeah, I can see where he's coming from, as far as like, no, I don't need a woman to complete me. No, you don't need a woman to complete you in regards to your goals and stuff that you have to do. But if you find the right woman, just like your son was saying, it's all about finding that right person in order to complement you on your goals and things that you have set forth in life. So that also takes me back to when Brother Romero was just saying, like, honestly, if you can kind of just take a look at how nature plays itself out, it's always one in the other. Like, I have found out, like, in the grass, like, there's a male and female grass. We have male and female qualities within ourselves, feminine and masculine. And sometimes most of the times, we need that man to balance us out. You need that woman to balance you out because we're in a world that is constantly dragging us each and every day, taking us out of our own nature, our own character. And us as men and women in general, we naturally are righteous people. We naturally want to do good. We naturally want the right things. But when it comes to just actually being able to be open-minded as to how to look at what the minister was saying in regards to completion, I think it will open up a bigger, door as to why we as men and women, and just like my brother said, Andrew was just saying, we also have to go back and knowing who we are and our value. Me as a woman knowing my value, me as a man knowing my value, and knowing what I bring to the table. So I definitely can agree with Brother Willie. Women are asking for too much. They're asking for too much because they're seeing women out here. They're worshiping these celebrities that have money and all this extra stuff, and thinking that a man has to have a certain amount of money in order for them to be complete, or them to want to be with a man when it has nothing to do with money.
Can I
So
say something?
yeah.
I completely agree. And then it goes back into, to find the answer to this question, we must go back to the root of what is a man? What is a woman? And once you define that, because that's been misconstrued in this world. And what we look for in a man and what we look for in a woman is what we see on social media that has been misrepresented. But when we truly go back to what is a masculine man and what is a feminine female, is when we will find the answer to that question. And obviously, as a woman, you want to a woman finds a man that will provide. And providing is more than just money. It provides wisdom, provide health, covering, everything.
Protection.
So we just have to find what defines a man and what defines a female.
Yeah, and I think, female and male, like paying attention to what like when it's working together, when it is in sync, when it is in unison. Like if you can find examples of those things and say, damn, okay, this is what it looked like when it's working together. And is this something that I desire?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Me personally, like there's things that I just don't do naturally. And I feel like life is about flow. And you call in a lot of things by just being in your purpose and your passion. Your purpose and passion don't come. It comes with growing pains, lessons, and things of that nature. But even those things should be met with gratitude. So that even creates a flow, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when you see man and woman like working together in an example where you ain't got nothing to do with it, you're just like just observing it. You're like, damn, okay, what qualities are there? What qualities are showing up? Where it looks like 9 times out of 10, a woman is meeting a man where he's not the strongest. Yeah. And a man is meeting a woman where she's not the strongest. But they're still showing up whole as themselves. But a sprocket is like this. A sprocket is missing holes. Though it runs the machine, it's missing holes. And it's not until it's met with that opposite sprocket that it's then.
That's a great analogy. Like, I mean, I think, because technically by yourself you're complete. But it's like there's still some area of incomplete in you that you could function by yourself. But then there's an area in a woman where she's incomplete that you could. And I think that's where, finding that right wife.
And that's why it plays out to perspective, right? Because what you missing ain't going to be what I'm missing.
Right.
What she missing, you know what I'm saying? And then find something that fits within that. But you got first, as everyone said, I got to find myself first. I got to know what I am.
Right.
So I know what I'm missing and what I'm lacking. And then I can look for that in the mate.
Where does that start?
It starts with yourself.
No.
Does it start with yourself?
No, it doesn't. It starts with your parents.
That's powerful.
It doesn't
Lord,
start with you.
I was about to say that. Go ahead, brother.
It starts with your parents because they're your first example of love. They're your first example of heartbreak. They're your first example of developing an ambition to be better than what he was because he left her. And you watched her hurt.
Yeah. So maybe it's your examples there. Maybe that's your parents, but your examples
That
are really
foundation.
trying to
Yeah.
to exemplify.
So when you get older, completion for a man and or a woman, when we get older, it's just those things that our parents taught us to be self-sufficient.
Mm-hmm.
We call those are our daily responsibility items that we check off every day.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you get that bill. Do you pay it or do you go buy shoes?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's character. That's that parental character. That means, okay, hey, my mom and dad told me, no, you take care of your bills first.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why we run into situations like Drew said, lay down with people that we have no business laying down with, is because it was an attribute outside that attracted us and caught our eye.
Mm-hmm.
But once we got on the inside and figured out that this person is not an equal for me, now sometimes it's too late because now, I'm pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
So now you have a lifetime bond to this person.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it all starts with us making sure that we're just doing what our parents taught us to do. Now, for those that didn't have mom and dad or have,
I was just about to say that. Well, what do you do when you get the situation where they're not getting it? Go ahead.
this one or the other,
Mm-hmm.
you simply start to draw from sources that look like mom and dad.
Examples.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
You know, so that's uncle, that's auntie, that's teacher, that's big brother, big cousin. So you draw from examples that appear to be doing what you think is the right thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you have guys that, you know, on a wide end of the spectrum beat women.
Mhm.
Because what they saw, that's what they saw.
Mhm.
And in their mind, it's right.
Come on.
You see what I'm saying?
Yep. And it's the power of the parents. Because if you, let's say, if a single mom, what the child from a man, a single mom cannot raise a man because she's not
That's
a
not-
man.
Right.
So he'll see a feminine aspect of it, and what he will project is what he saw. So it all starts off in the house, like you said. It all starts off in the house that defines a person.
He'll see love,
Yeah.
but he'll see love from a woman's standpoint.
Yep.
And the key is to see love from both. It's a mixture.
Yeah.
So a man, as we grow up, our goal is to have a family.
Mhm.
That's what you want to do.
Yep.
And if you do decide to have a family, you want to be able to love your children and be balanced.
Yep.
You want to be able to be hard where you need to be hard at, but love with the love of a mother.
Mm-hmm.
And know when you can. Hey, come on, man, I got you.
Mm-hmm.
So you gotta know when to. It's like a switch. You gotta know when to turn one or the other on or off. One of the things that kind of I was listening for with Minister Farrakhan, and that he didn't just come out and say, he was giving relationship advice in this.
Mm-hmm.
And my why is when he said a woman will do X, Y, Z,
Mm-hmm.
just to make sure that you're a man, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, test you. Yeah.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
that's relationship advice. We've all been told that at some point in our life that a woman may come off sideways. That don't mean you meet that energy.
Right.
As a man, part of you being complete is knowing who you are and understanding. I don't have to respond to that with that kind of energy. So
Yeah.
that's a part of completion because that's a checkbox.
Mhm.
Some of us lose our shit
Mm-hmm.
and
That feminine energy
doing
show up.
stuff
Yeah.
And
that
that's
ain't got no business doing toward a woman.
Right.
I'm incomplete now.
That's where it takes creating your own value as a man. And a lot of the times, a lot of people stay in a relationship because they don't know truly who they are and they do not know their value. So once you have your value, you can approach a situation or a relationship. And the best thing that you can do sometimes is just leaving. But if you don't know your value, then you will not leave.
There you go.
And I'm going to say this. If you guys like the content, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe. Also, this video will be uploading on Healing with Angelica on her YouTube channel. So, of course, she's a special guest. So please make sure you go over to her channel. Sister Angelica, please. I know you're sitting over there smiling like you ready to chime in, jump in anytime. Go ahead.
I know I'm as I'm growing within myself, learning not to always interject because I know women a lot of the times we like to always jump in and speak, but I'm gonna allow you guys to speak. So yeah, I definitely love what my brother just said about it all kind of started in a home, and it really does. Like everything that we've been taught and everything that we know, and most of the times things that we are still doing has started from when we were a child, and it really goes deeper to that in regards to what took place within the woman when we were in her womb. It's a lot of trauma and misconception that we have been given growing up, and because our parents haven't healed, they're putting it on us, giving us a false perspective of what relationships should be like. But I believe, just like your son was saying, um, I'm not saying it's verbatim, but he kind of just tacked back in to the point to where, okay, we understand it starts at home, but it comes a point in time where you become aware enough to know that, okay, this is not right. So then we go back to looking into self. How do you correct this issue within self so you don't continue this pattern? So, unfortunately, again, I believe that we don't have the proper knowledge of what is a relationship. And I love what your son was saying, like, what is a man? What is a woman? You know, actually going to the root of it and defining it is allowing us to be able to operate in the way that we should when it comes to finding the right mate, or and understanding why we need the woman to complete us in certain areas. Like I said, I'm standing from what I believe the minister is saying is just completion and faith with God, you know. And then I'll end with this. It took me back to, unfortunately, a lot of us is just laying with people because unfortunately we are more motivated with our flesh desires more than, you know, our higher self of what we should and shouldn't do. And because of that, constantly creating this cycle of dysfunctional family, dysfunctional relationships, and children that don't really know anything. So again, it always starts with self first and others. But when it comes to self, it's also you taking a look at yourself, understanding that, yeah, mom was a single mom, but that doesn't mean that, oh, I'm going to be a single mom too, and I don't need a man. Oh, yeah, dad, he abused my mother. Doesn't mean that I'm going to be abusive to women. So it also goes back down to seeing what the problem was, analyzing it within self, so you don't continue those cycles. And if we also understood the proper way to address a relationship instead of just coming forth, giving ourselves away when it comes to our body, whatever the case may be, especially for women. And I just listened to a podcast. You guys should listen to it. It was Brother Nuri and Nick Cannon. They had a show that they just did. And he was just saying, like, honestly, if the woman would be more self-controlled and can control herself and not think that she always have to give herself away to get the attention from the man, the men would naturally straighten up, because now as a woman we have more standards, we have more values, and then the man can kind of mostly see the importance and the value of the woman. So honestly, it's not going to be, and I want to say this because it's not always shade to the men. A lot of it really has to do with the woman and understanding her power, understanding how she really can control the way that men see why women are valuable and why they help in completing them. So yeah.
I'm going to say this. We're almost approaching an hour part, and I don't like to go too long, so we don't lose followers. I do see we have some people watching, so again, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. But I'm going to close with this, and I'll kind of do a round table so everybody give their closing remarks. To go back to the original thing, I think from where Honorable Louis Farrakhan, and I enjoy all his content. I think I absorb it. I think, as Coach D said, it was like embedded relationship advice. And I think that I think that it really depends on who's hearing the message. I think that you have to be in a spiritual place to really understand where he's coming from, because when I instantly watched it, I went and talked to my wife and I said, man, this was powerful. And I talked to my mother-in-law on a kind of different perspective, which why I kind of wanted to do this episode, because I wanted to hear different aspects. And I hope you guys find found value in the different kind of ideas we talked about today. For me, what I'm standing on is that I think that, and I'm gonna add what Jabez said. I think as a man, as a woman, you can be complete by yourself, and it's like a jigsaw puzzle. And the only way to get the perfect one is to get the other jigsaw puzzle that fits for you. What may fit for Jabez may not fit for me, and vice versa. And I think it takes time to develop into knowing who you are as a man, as a woman, to understand what works for you. Because I was in a terrible marriage before where it was just horrible, and I eventually had to divorce and move on because I didn't go through that. I didn't know who I was, and it took me time to develop that. So now I have such standards to where that even if my current wife don't act in a manner that I believe that I know I deserve, then I would be, hey, I'm out, just because I know what I am and I know where I stand. And I'm sure she feels the same way. And I say that for anybody, just like when Sister Angelica made that post about advising young women to not just sleep with men, just occasionally or just period, hold for marriage. And, it's like, it's the reason why she's saying that is because so often we just got used to these behaviors that is not bode well for us as a society. I do want to give a shout out to an upcoming episode that I have with Sister Angelica coming up. It'll be in May. I think it's the 12th. It'll be with Tony Rogers. May have Coach D on. We're still working on finding the details, but just a preview about it. We're going to be talking about how religion and how it works with the Black community. We have the Nation of Islam, we have Christianity, we have other things, and it seems as though the Black community is always finishing last. So my question is it the best message for our community? That I want to leave it at that. I'm going to leave it at that. But you guys get a round table, man, get your closing remarks, man, and then we'll close with Sister Angelica and,
I think it's a great topic. I think it's very good to like sit in these particular circles and have a conversation. Like Coach B was saying about real issues, because it allows us to then reflect back on where we're coming from and audit ourselves and putting ourselves in alignment with where our goals and aspirations lie at. So yeah, appreciate the platform. My name is Jay Benz. You can follow my business. I'm a founder, CEO of a company called the Unlocks Experiment, LLC. Do a little bit of production work, music, entertainment, edutainment, as I like to say, all vibrational content. But you can check us out at our website, LUVLOCCEX.com. Yeah, thank you for having me.
That was wonderful. I'll say one last thing and leave it at this. I think we have, what do they call it? I wouldn't say a leash, but if you love me, it's like you have this much money to love me. Like there's like, I don't know how to say it. There's a word for it. Like if you need this, then I don't know how to say it. I'll just leave that at that. I was gonna go into like a
here's the thing. With love, it's called conditional. Love is conditional, right? So, for example, let's say Sister Angelica is married and her husband fucking sock her in the face. She may love him, but I can't love you if you're doing that. Or if he abuses her children, I don't love you because my love is conditioned based off what you do. So that's kind of like a leash. Yeah. So, for example, my wife needs me to operate as a man. I need to provide. I need to take care of. I need a guy. Now, that doesn't mean if I lose my job to give her excuse to not love me. But if I'm sitting there playing video games, I'm not out here trying to like, hey, I'll work at McDonald's, I'll DoorDash, I'll do whatever, to put food on the table. That's the thing. So I think that's what you were trying to say. So I think you mean like conditional love. Go ahead.
Yeah. But yeah, that was what I was going to say with that one. He actually literally said what I was going to say. But I do appreciate this opportunity. Hopefully be back on more because I really did have.
I have you, son. Hey, you know what, son? To have my son on a podcast, I think it's a blessing. So I'm leaving it at that. Thank you, God. Thank you.
I'll pass it to D.
Carl Winslow.
Just for those that are watching, thanks, Phil. For those that are watching, just understand that in every step you take in life, there's a completion that is associated with it. There are criteria that have to be checked off in order for you to show yourself approved to move on to the next phase of life. 7 is a biblical number of completion. There's just the ways that are already designed, that are already ordained, that though that we walk in as man and woman. And I like what you said about, I didn't get to comment on that about nature, and just about just our, just the the day to day when we watch, the grass, male, female grass. The thing that came to mind was the lion. And not one story have you ever heard the lioness is the queen of the jungle. And not one Disney movie, and not one just anything. Have you heard that? The lion has always been the king. And that natural order has never changed. So I say that to say the completion process has never been reordered. We as humans, and I just want to focus on the Black community right now, we operate out of so much incompleteness. And it's just based on what we came from. And we're searching for completeness. And by the way, by the time we find completeness, sometimes we would have lost our souls because we fell for what we thought was complete, and it was someone else's version of complete. So my ask of our viewers, my ask of those that are watching, research who you are, who you want to be, and look at what you need to do to become that person. Then you will begin to experience what we call completeness. For those that are looking to enter in the marital realm, the Honorable Minister Farrakhan was just giving us a relationship advice. In order for you to be complete, these are the things that you're going to have to go through. Andrew said, in order for you to go to that next level, military, in the military, you have to operate in that role first to show yourself approved. The word says study for yourself to show yourself approved. I can feed you whatever, but if you don't study for your own completeness and for your own holistic view and have that substance to stand on, you're operating in incompleteness. So please, y'all, just listen to the message today. We want everybody to reach that level of completeness, but we got to take the right steps to check the right boxes to earn that title of complete. Coach D,
come on.
Closing with you, Sister Angelica.
Well, I just want to say thank you so much for giving me the honor to join forces with you on your platform. You have such a beautiful platform. I love the authentic dialogue that you guys have on the platform. This was a beautiful conversation. And I just want to touch back on Coach. What did you just say, Willie? I'm getting
Coach
people's
D.
names.
Coach D.
Coach D.
Carson.
Yes, I love your closing, and it just makes me think of T.A.P. Think of again, just going back to that there's always anarchy in everything. If it's business, if it's relationships, and even when it comes to God, there's man, there's God, there's man, is woman and children. So because we don't operate in that order, we're not operating in that order anymore. It's making us other than ourselves, and it's also messing up the perfect alignment that God has already ordained for us to have. So I love that he touched on that. And just want to say, hey, you know, we all have levels and steps to get through in order to become one with self. I think, you know, as long as you're alive and living, you're always going to be, what is that word? You're always going to be growing. So we're always in a point of evolving all the time. So when you understand that you're always evolving and you always are going to be tested, so you can see where you're headed and also be able to grow more, then we will also understand why it's so important that we understand who we are as men and women and understand why we need each other so we can continue to grow. So I love you all. My name is Angelica X. You can follow me on social media with Healing with Angelica. I have a podcast. I'm a lifestyle wellness coach. I do a lot of work with young women. And if you guys want to know more, you can just text me. Just say Healing with Angelica to 937-313-2466.
And with that, thank you guys for watching the episode. Until next time, we'll be on next Saturday. This is Andrew. This is the T.A.P. We at it.
Tap in. Woo!